Jenna Bush Hager has spent much of her life in the public eye, but what has always made her stand out is her willingness to speak with sincerity and openness. Throughout her career, she has built a connection with audiences not through perfection, but through honesty about real-life experiences. Recently, she opened up about entering perimenopause, a transition many women experience but often feel uncomfortable discussing publicly. Her decision to speak openly about the emotional and physical changes she has been facing immediately resonated with people everywhere. Rather than treating the topic as something embarrassing or private, she approached it with warmth, vulnerability, and confidence. That honesty transformed a personal health update into a larger conversation about women's well-being, emotional health, and the importance of support during major life transitions. Her story became meaningful because it reflected experiences many people quietly go through without feeling fully understood or represented, building her own identity in the public spotlight. Growing up in a well-known political family meant Jenna Bush Hager experienced public attention from a very young age. Many people first recognized her because of her parents, but over time, she built a career and identity that felt entirely her own. Through journalism, television, and writing, she developed a reputation for being relatable, compassionate, and refreshingly genuine. Audiences connected with her because she never appeared distant or overly polished. Instead, she spoke naturally about motherhood, marriage, family life, and personal struggles in ways that felt real and approachable. Her storytelling style made viewers feel as though they were listening to a trusted friend rather than a television personality. Over the years, that authenticity became her greatest strength. Whether discussing joyful family moments or more difficult experiences, she consistently approached conversations with emotional honesty. That trust she built with audiences over time is one reason her recent openness about health and hormonal changes carried such emotional impact for so many viewers, recognizing the changes happening within herself. As Jenna approached her mid-40s, she began experiencing changes that initially felt confusing and emotionally exhausting. She noticed disrupted sleep, mood shifts, fatigue, and emotional overwhelm, but at first she believed those feelings were simply connected to stress and the demands of daily life. Like many women balancing careers, parenting, and responsibilities, she assumed exhaustion was just part of keeping up with everything happening around her. Over time, however, she realized something deeper was happening physically and hormonally. That realization marked an important turning point. Instead of dismissing the symptoms or quietly enduring them, she began learning more about perimenopause and understanding how common these experiences actually are. Her honesty about feeling uncertain in the beginning resonated strongly with many women who have faced similar confusion. Often, hormonal changes develop gradually, making it difficult to recognize what is happening at first. Jenna's openness helped normalize those feelings and reminded others that seeking answers and support is not weakness, but self-awareness and care, breaking the silence around women's health. One of the most powerful aspects of Jenna's story is her determination to speak openly about a topic that has historically remained hidden or ignored. For generations, many women experienced hormonal transitions quietly, often feeling expected to manage discomfort without conversation or support. Jenna chose a different path by discussing perimenopause publicly and encouraging broader awareness around women's midlife health. Her decision reflected a growing cultural shift toward more honest conversations about emotional and physical well-being. Rather than treating these experiences as something shameful or uncomfortable, she framed them as natural changes deserving understanding and medical support. By partnering with a health organization focused on menopause and hormonal care, she also emphasized the importance of education and professional guidance. Her message was clear: women should not feel alone or dismissed during this stage of life. Through her openness, she helped create space for more compassionate conversations between friends, families, doctors, and partners about experiences that affect millions of women around the world. The family memory that stayed with her. During her discussion, Jenna shared a deeply personal memory from her teenage years that shaped how she viewed women's health and emotional changes. She recalled a holiday gathering where her mother became emotional during a difficult moment at home. Instead of ignoring the situation or avoiding the topic, her father calmly explained to Jenna and her sister that hormonal changes can deeply affect emotions and energy. That conversation stayed with her over the years because it introduced compassion and understanding rather than confusion or silence. Looking back, Jenna recognized how unusual and valuable that openness was, especially during a time when these topics were not discussed openly in many families. The memory also highlighted the importance of communication within relationships and households. Rather than treating emotional changes as something embarrassing, her parents approached the moment with empathy and honesty. That experience likely influenced Jenna's own comfort in speaking publicly about personal health challenges and encouraging more open conversations for future generations. Finding strength through support and partnership. Throughout this experience, Jenna has spoken warmly about the support she received from her husband and loved ones. She shared that her husband noticed the emotional and physical shifts she was experiencing and encouraged her to seek medical guidance and answers. His supportive response reflected the importance of understanding and patience during periods of change. Emotional transitions can feel isolating, especially when symptoms are difficult to explain or fully understand. Having supportive people nearby can make an enormous difference. Jenna's openness about her marriage also highlighted how meaningful partnership becomes during challenging periods of life. Rather than minimizing her experiences, her family offered reassurance and encouragement. That support allowed her to feel more confident discussing the topic publicly. Many viewers connected deeply with this part of her story because it reflected the value of compassion inside relationships. Emotional well-being often improves when people feel heard, respected, and supported rather than judged or dismissed during vulnerable moments of personal change. Turning personal experience into advocacy. Rather than treating her health journey as a private moment that would quickly fade from attention, Jenna chose to use her platform to encourage broader awareness and conversation. She expressed a strong desire to help women feel informed, supported, and empowered to seek help when needed. Through interviews and partnerships focused on women's health, she has continued emphasizing that solutions, support, and medical care are available. Her goal appears to be creating a more open environment where conversations about hormonal health feel normal rather than uncomfortable. By speaking consistently about these experiences, she is helping reduce stigma and encouraging others to ask questions without shame. Public figures often influence conversations in powerful ways because their openness can reach people who might otherwise avoid discussing sensitive topics. Jenna's willingness to continue advocating for awareness demonstrates that this issue is deeply personal to her. She is not simply sharing information. She is helping reshape how emotional and hormonal health conversations are approached publicly and privately. A reminder that vulnerability can create connection. At the heart of Jenna Bush Hager's story is a reminder that vulnerability often creates the strongest human connections. By sharing her experiences honestly, she gave many people permission to reflect on their own struggles without embarrassment or fear. Her openness transformed what could have been viewed as a simple celebrity health update into a meaningful conversation about emotional well-being, support systems, and self-awareness. In a world where public figures often feel pressured to appear flawless, her willingness to discuss uncertainty and change felt refreshing and genuine. She reminded audiences that strength does not come from pretending everything is perfect. Sometimes strength comes from speaking honestly about difficult experiences and allowing others to feel less alone. Her story also highlighted the importance of compassion within families, friendships, and relationships during periods of transition. Ultimately, the conversation became about far more than health alone. It became about empathy, understanding, communication, and the quiet comfort people find when someone finally says, "You are not alone in this experience."